And we're back, my friends. June 28th, 2021, 11:08 a.m. And we've already got so much going on today. It's crazy. And we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get right into it. We officially have Tropical Depression number 4 just off the coasts of South Carolina and Georgia. This thing came out of absolute nowhere. We covered it yesterday briefly, talking about how by this time today, we would know whether or not this thing had enough room to actually form into a tropical cyclone or a tropical depression. We could see this thing bump up one more step to a tropical storm before making landfall, or for all we know, it could become a tropical storm after making landfall. We all know how Tropical Storm Bill did that twice, once in the Gulf and then once while exiting the east coast of the United States before moving up towards St. Thomas. So we have yet another east coast situation going on before we even get to deal with this long 2,600 mile storm track we talked about yesterday. But first, a few things we absolutely have to talk about. Look at your screen right now. You are seeing a tweet from the Portland Streetcar Company, who are reporting that they are shutting down service today and possibly moving forward for repairs due to their cables melting. Look at this. You are looking at a picture from one of the Portland streetcar structures they have built for their streetcars, and you can clearly see that this cable is melting due to the insane heat that has been going on. And it's not just during the day. This has been consistent heat, breaking records during the nighttime hours as well. And I can't let you guys go yet without talking about the earthquake updates. We just had a 3.1 significant size earthquake for this part of the country, and specifically Yellowstone, which is certainly noteworthy. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here so we can see just how close this was to the Yellowstone caldera. And we're talking 25-30 miles. We're going from here to about right around here is the caldera of the Yellowstone supervolcano. But we all know that underground, that volcano is sort of like this big, which is absolutely massive. We're going to do some videos diving into Yellowstone and the potentials for that area of the world. But there's no doubt about it. Anyone that knows anything about seismic activity or the Yellowstone area, this 3.1 quake is certainly significant. It's even titled as that, a Yellowstone volcano in Montana. And this quake here we talked about yesterday. This was about 18 hours ago in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. And one more thing, my friends, before we get into Hurricane Enrique and the 2 storms we're following in the Atlantic, we got to check out this heat wave. And also, I just want to share this website with you on the Portland streetcar cable information is on. So I'll post this down in the description box where you can read all about this. And more specifically, I want you guys to read this tweet right here. This was posted just yesterday. The hottest heat wave to ever hit the Pacific Northwest is continuing to scorch the typically cool region with triple-digit temperatures. If you are not aware of some of these temperatures, take a look at what the Weather Channel has posted as a forecast for today. We're looking at 107 in Salem, 115 degrees in Portland, Oregon, and that's not even the highest forecast right now. The highest I've seen right here to the east in Daley's, 117 degree forecast. Unbelievable. And here are some records and comparison numbers to the forecast we're going to be having. So take a look at this. The record high, for example, for Kamloops, BC, 102 degrees was the previous record, expecting a 112 degree high today, and so on and so forth. You can read all these all day today. Every single county, every area of the upper Northwest is having some sort of record broken. This type of stuff just does not happen every day. In fact, stuff like this is built to withstand extreme temperatures, extreme cold, extreme heat. So we're dealing with a new kind of monster right now. All right, everybody. So unfortunately, yes, the upper Northwest and the West Coast as a whole is going through a horrible drought, while the Gulf is going through the absolute opposite. And now we're starting to see the Atlantic Ocean producing storms that are affecting the East Coast. So let's break this down real quick. As of about 2 days ago, my friends, we didn't even know we were going to have this storm. This thing came out of absolute nowhere, actually formed north of the Bahamas, which is kind of rare. We usually see these storms moving off the U.S. land into the ocean and then becoming storms rather than the opposite. So we've had some fishy things going on here. No pun intended. Get it? Fishy? Haha. Anyway, so as of 11 a.m. Monday, this is where we can expect our centralized low pressure to be, and we can see where our tropical storm warnings are, or our tropical depression warnings. And once again, you see that S there. That means tropical storm. Now, I don't know if they're really showing that this is going to be a tropical storm right here, or if it's going to be a tropical storm right here. Again, we may be dealing with a situation where this thing becomes a tropical storm after landfall, aka Louisiana and Bill. And talk about an interesting spaghetti plot, especially the AVNI plot here, has this thing moving in the same direction as most of the other plots, and then making that north and then eastern hook based on our jet stream. But then look what it does to the Great Lakes region. It does this weird dance around Lake Erie and then decides to head out. So we'll see if that actually plays out to be true, or if any of this actually happens. Regardless of what happens after landfall, the most important thing is what happens between now and that landfall. So let's look at the map here on Tropical Tidbits, and it's only going to take a couple clicks because we are really almost there to begin with. So we'll click this here. It's 6 hours from now. We'll see this thing is basically overland just on the border of South Carolina and Georgia just to the south. It's going to come quick, hit quick, and then leave quick, especially in the landfall region. So we'll do this again. There's 6 hours, another 6 hours, and then another 6 hours. So we're moving basically from here to here in the next 18 hours. So it's kind of easier to see why the National Hurricane Center or other weather outlets don't have specifics on this, or why it's not a tropical storm yet, or why it may be one after landfall. It's just so close to land and formed so quickly that it may go through its lifespan that quick. And it's just very hard to time. But what we do know is this area is going to get a chunk of rain mixed with a lot of the Gulf moisture we already have. So it's going to be a pretty big mess going on over the next day or two. All right, and moving right along, my friends. Yes, we do have Enrique here. We'll touch on that last, but now let's take a look at our disturbance that we covered yesterday, our 2,600-mile monster of a storm track. Disturbance number 2, it's now at 40% chance of cyclone formation over the next 5 days. That's pretty significant considering the size of this forecast. Again, this has nothing to do with the size of the storm. This only has to do with how long or how far it may move during its 5-day tracking period. And as we can see right now, it has already risen in percentage to 40%, and that is key, believe it or not. We need that information to know exactly what to expect over those next 5 days. So we're seeing a very common path, usually more so in the middle of summer. In August, closer to September, we see these types of spaghetti plots. Remember storms like Irma and Maria all took this track along basically the equator off the west coast of Africa, making it to the Leeward, Lesser Antilles Islands, and then making a decision based on the atmospheric conditions, the Bermuda Atlantic bubble, the jet stream itself, the Gulf Stream, that warm water that runs out from the Gulf all the way up the East Coast, and then the Gulf itself. So many different factors that play can change this track and put it in any of these spaghetti plots you see here. So we'll be covering this every single day until this thing does not exist anymore. You got my word on that. And finally, my friends, we are looking at the stats and the time frame for the rest of the lifespan of Hurricane Enrique, our Pacific hurricane, just to the west of Mexico. You can see right here with those current hurricane warnings, and then the blue is tropical storm, as you can see on the bar down here. So what's up with this thing? As you can see, it's following a similar path to what most hurricanes that do form in this area do. If they don't come straight out towards Hawaii, they'll usually curl up north and then hit these cool waters. Believe it or not, these are very cool waters compared to the Caribbean and even the Gulf, the bathtub of the Gulf. And that's why we see these things tend to die out quickly over a short period of time. But because we have the warm water right down in here, we tend to see these things blow up very quickly, kind of become a threat visually to the Baja region near Mexico, and then even farther north to Southern California, which we haven't seen in a very long time, if ever. But nonetheless, a very important storm, and it's certainly affecting Mexico and will affect other areas between now and Friday at 6 a.m. when it's claimed to be back to a depression. All right, my friends, that's what I got for you for today. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video, and sorry I was jumping all over the place, but so much to cover, so much going on all over the world. Expect the videos to be more like this as we cover more and more topics. I'll have specific videos for specific topics on occasion, and we'll go from there. Thank you all so much. It is now afternoon. Oh my God, 12:11 here in the Northeast. I got to get going. Thank you all so much. Shout out to Canada. Be safe. Stay cool, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Stop right there, my friends. If you have not already, click that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Click all, and you will get all notifications from this channel. And trust me, you won't be disappointed.